Hello, this is Shane
And Billy
from the band Silverstein. We're hanging out in the Kerrang office, and this is a guide, track-by-track guide to our new record, Rescue. So check it out. Hope it's informative. Kerrang! The artist. This was the last song we wrote for Rescue, and I think it was the most calculated. We really were just like, fuck it, let's write a heavy song. You know, like, let's not, no rules, no song structure, just, I'm going to write a riff, you're going to write a riff, let's just put it together and just, like, write a really fun song. And it ended up being, I think, maybe our favorite.
I think so, yeah. I think it probably came together faster than any of the other songs, and with the least amount of scrutiny and, you know, having different people come at it from different angles and stuff. I think we all just kind of said we want to write a heavy song, we want it to be aggressive, and we had a couple different ideas, and we just kind of put them all together.
Vocally, I think this song really was, I took a different approach with too, because a lot of the stuff I've done in the past has been, you know, it's kind of been singing or it's been screaming, and this song I think I kind of used the full range of what I can do vocally. And we also got my friend Brendan, who plays in a great band everyone should check out, called Counterparts, from Canada, to do some vocals as well on it. So ended up coming out really great.
Yeah, I think vocally it's one of my favorite performances Shane's ever done, until you hear our cover songs that we're about to release as well. But I think that, yeah, that ending part where he does the yelling part, musically, like, really reminded me of some of my favorite hardcore bands, like Modern Life is War, Verse. And when we had the part written, I said to Shane, I was like, man, you just can't scream over that like you normally scream. You got to take another approach, and I think you really nailed it.
Burning Hearts was similar to The Artist in that we kind of just didn't give a fuck. We kind of just wanted to do a song for ourselves, and it turned out basically like a punk rock, almost like a 90s skate punk song in some ways, with some of the ways we took it. And you know, there's like a guitar solo in there, which we just kind of said, whatever, let's just leave it in there, and, you know, who cares? And ended up being a really strong song, one of our favorites. And I had a bit of trouble writing vocals over it initially too, and then just kind of just something just clicked, and I think the chorus came out unbelievably great. So
yeah, I think in the past we've always had like a taste of that, like, skate punk fast beat, and with this song Neil kind of had that riff written, and we started playing it, and it just seemed kind of like it wasn't really us, and then that was kind of like a concept we tried to throw out the window, because it's like we've always kind of done that where it'd be like a little fast part, kind of like a circle pit part for a couple minutes, and then it would just go back into like a normal kind of Silverstein song, and we didn't really want to do that this time around. And I don't think any of us knew how it would really turn out vocally until we heard what Shane did with it, and we were really pleased. And I thought that the chorus especially is one of the catchiest parts of the record, and we were all really surprised with how that came out, and really pleased. And while we thought it was going to be, you know, just kind of a throwaway punk song, it turned out to be one of the shining songs on the record, so I'm really happy about that.
Darling Harbour is a place in Australia. It's in Sydney. It's beautiful, and yeah, we toured there a number of times. I think it's our favorite place in the world to go, and just kind of had a dream a little bit actually one night about being in Australia, and it was during I don't know if anybody out there watches Lost. There's this random episode of Lost where they're suddenly in a lighthouse, and there's this like thing that turns, and I had watched that episode of Lost, and then I had a dream about Australia, and this all just kind of turned into this big idea for me, and that's kind of how the song came out. And so lyrically, it is about kind of some experience I had in Australia, but it really is just sort of a weird kind of mesh of a bunch of different things. And I don't know, I'm really happy with how it came out. I really like the vibe of the song. This song actually, we had written the music for, I think right as we were finishing up the last record, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to fit it on the last record, and it came through, and I think it came out great, and I really like the vibe of it. It's a little bit different for us too.
Yeah, I think I mean, when Shane came to me and he's like, "Oh, did you see Lost last night?" I was like, "Well, yeah, of course." I was a big fan of Lost. So he's like, yeah, I kind of wrote a song that goes along with that. And then I heard the song and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm into it. I really liked the kind of personal touches that went on it. There's like a line about King Street and Queen Street, and King Street's a really kind of popular area in Sydney that we always hang out, and every time we go to Sydney, it's like, oh, we got to go to King Street. There's like a really good vegetarian restaurant. There's like cool clothing and record stores and stuff. So I thought that was cool. And then he says something about Queen Street, which is a street in Toronto that I actually live on. So it was pretty cool to have those little kind of references tied into the song, and I really enjoyed that.
Live to Kill. Live to Kill, different song too. Starts with the screaming, and it's basically about the rivalries that bands seem to want to have with each other in the scene, and how it's kind of my take on how it's just so ridiculous and really just bums me out how, you know, a band will see some other band on a magazine cover, the cover of Kerrang, and they'll get jealous and be like, well, why aren't we on there? And they suck, and they, you know, whatever. And there's so much shit talking that goes on behind the scenes, and I don't know, I just really bums me out. And I think that's kind of my take on it, is that's what that song's about.
Yeah, I mean, the scene's a real dog-eat-dog world, you know? It's like one minute you're friends with someone and you're touring together, or you're playing shows together, and then the next you hear from someone else that they've been talking shit on you or whatever. And I think we've dealt with that a lot with different bands. And yeah, it's a real struggle, and it sucks to see bands kind of stepping on other bands' backs just to get ahead, you know. And there's a lot of it that goes on, and we're just kind of sick of it. And you know, it's we just want to surround ourselves with bands that are genuine, and that's, you know, we've made some really good friends over the years, and we're really fortunate for that. But there's been some that have fallen by the wayside, and it's you know, disappointing.
Replace You, we put out on the Transitions EP as an acoustic track, and I wrote it originally as an acoustic track, and didn't really know if it was going to be something that would work for our band, or if it was just something, you know, down the road I would maybe use or whatever. But it ended up being really cool, and I had the idea maybe to try to adapt it for like a full band. So the original open kind of picking riff that I had on acoustic, I ended up turning it into kind of an electric guitar riff and building a whole song around it. And I think the guys in the band actually preferred the electric version, because I had the acoustic one and then the electric one, and we weren't really sure if we were going to do, how we were going to do it, if we were going to do one as a B-side or whatever. But the song came out great, and fans have really latched onto the acoustic version. So I think the electric version they're going to be pretty stoked on too.
Yeah, I think I definitely like the electric version more, and it wasn't until we recorded it that song really just jumped out, and I think it was one of the first songs that we got back from like a rough mix or whatever, and it was just really like, wow, like this song really just like blew me away, and was kind of like, didn't know if it was going to make the record. It was kind of one of the ones that was lingering. And it just like jumped up and was like, this has got to be on the record. And I really like how we did the acoustic on the EP, because it kind of like gave kids a way to kind of like learn the song and latch onto it. And then now we're gonna put out the full version, and I think it's really gonna impress people. So
yeah, the final track, In Memory Of, is a song about my cousin that passed away in 2006. In a snowmobile accident, and it was pretty hard for me to deal with back then, and it really changed a lot of things in my life. I think kind of made me see the path that I was on, and maybe I wasn't going in the right direction I should be in some of the things in my personal life. And it's something that's affected me, and it's something that I've wanted to sing about, and I've wanted to write about and talk about, but I just didn't have the ability or the strength to do it until now. So I'm really, really happy that I was able to get some of my thoughts out about it, and I got a little bit of closure with the song. So it's obviously a very important, special song to me on the record, and you know, I don't have a brother, so my cousin was like the same age as me and a brother to me. So his loss was really big in my life. So to have that song there on that record and kind of permanently etched out there. And I hope people see this. I hope people know what the song's about, and just so his kind of legacy can kind of carry on a little bit. Just something for him, because he was a great person, and died when he was only 24. So it's really sad.
Yeah, I think that the rest of us can also take a lot from the song. Like obviously what Shane went through was something within his family, but at the time we had a lot of tragedy in our band, and we lost a lot of friends, and I think we were all kind of going through some just hard times at the time, and the song really speaks to all of us in our own ways, I think, in the same way that it speaks to Shane, and I think that's again back to what I was saying earlier about music just really being an outlet for anyone to kind of take their own interpretation. I think this song can really speak to anyone in that sense. I think musically and like production wise, the song really came together in the studio with how we kind of did the ending, and the different kind of like elements of like the guitar lead, and then like the bass takes over the lead, and like the different drum stuff that's going on, I think is all really interesting, and it was just a different way for us to kind of change up a song, and that was something that was really cool and special. So. Correct.